Okay, think we're all set. Let me give you back the host.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, just make me host next time.
Do that again.
Make me co-host.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Okay, so I'll just let them in. Okay. Oh, there you go.
Here comes everyone. Hi, Sandy. Hello, Janet. Hello, welcome to my kitchen. You just caught me with my mixer on. How are you today, Sandy? Looks sunny where you are, is it? Looks like you're outside.
I'm sitting on the porch and I just got done walking, so I'm sitting here just enjoying, gonna watch you cook while I just sit or get a drink of water or something. So
That
if
sounds
if I
really good.
turn my video off, it's not, I'm being rude. It's just that after I get up from from resting from my walk, I'll have to have some water. So
Sure. Yes, get that water. That's important. In fact, thank you for reminding me. I'm going to get some myself. So I'm excited about today because we have some community members coming on, at least one, but I'm showing several recipes from community members who submitted their favorite strawberry desserts. So I am going to demonstrate a couple of them, and you will get them all in your email. So I'll give it just a few minutes here or so to get everybody in here. And then we will get started. Hey, Sandra, good to see you again. So I think the other Sandra isn't going to make it today. Do you want to fill in for her and talk about her recipe? It looks delicious. I'm making it and I'm going to, it's a frozen dessert. I'm making it and I'm going to put it in the freezer for Father's Day. So this will work out quite nicely. And can you give me a little feedback? I got a little feedback the other day that somebody couldn't hear me very well. Are you good with hearing me? Okay, fantastic. Not too loud? Okay. Hey, Kathy. Hi. Look what I have. Everything to get the cake, but you're going to be instructing me from here, okay? Or I'll ask you about it as I go. I'll read the instructions and then you can kind of clarify for me anything that I'm not doing properly or that you would do differently, okay?
Okay.
All right. So I'm
I
going to go.
didn't know you were going to make it.
Yeah, well, it won't get finished. It won't get totally baked, but we will at least see the steps to it.
I made one.
Did you really? Oh, good. You can show the finished one then. Oh,
Yes.
then we have both ends of it. Awesome. Thank you for doing that. Hey, Marjorie. Hi. There's Pat. Hi, Joanne. Joanne in 1 and 2. And Janice. Hello, Janice. Hey, Sue. Welcome back. Still haven't heard from Coco.
Hi.
I'm disappointed. I'm waiting.
Yeah, she just had surgery a couple of days ago, but she'll be okay.
You okay?
She fractured her ankle.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's painful.
I will remind her though.
Okay, well, whenever it's good for her. All right, I'm going to share my screen and we'll go ahead and get started. We have a special day today. It's not all about me, although it is in my kitchen, but it is all about community members, about Kathy's recipe and Sandra's recipe and Evelyn's recipe. I don't think Evelyn could make it either, but we're going to share her recipe anyway. I'm not making it, but I'll share it. So here we are. You can see my screen, right, with the favorite strawberry dessert recipes. And honestly, Kathy, I didn't put a picture of yours on because when I looked at the pictures on the internet, I wasn't sure if it matched with the recipe as I was reading yours. So we're going to see a live and in-person rendering of actual cake. So no worries there. But this is a berry kafluti. I broadened the horizon a little bit because Evelyn sent this mixed berry kafluti that has, if I'm saying that properly, blackberries and raspberries in it. So, hey, it's not a strawberry, but that's okay. And then this is another dessert we are going to make today, at least partially. I'm going to make all of this part, and then later Sunday, when I pull it out of the freezer, I'm going to put the rest of it together. So I just recalled, well, I'll share with you later what I thought about when I was doing this. So this is coming from Sandra Ramey, if I'm saying her last name correctly or not, but she is a frequent flyer, but she couldn't come today, I suppose. And so we're going to look at this very quick and easy recipe. And then, and so this is called Strawberry Sensation. Strawberry Whipped Sensation. And Kathy's is Strawberry Buttermilk Cake. So let's keep going. So is there anybody who's brand new to classes today with me? Would you please let me know?
I'm new. I've never watched before.
Okay, so does that mean that you're also new to Get Set Up?
Oh, I've been coming to classes maybe for about a month.
Okay, all right. So you're
I don't know how long. Pardon?
Well, welcome. I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that you come to many of my classes. So we have a good time. We enjoy, if you can, join us by camera. We're a pretty friendly group, and we enjoy talking about the recipes that we're making and the food that we're discussing for the day. And we always invite you to unmute yourself and to ask questions or make comments. But if you're not comfortable with that, you can certainly put questions or comments in the chat box. So I'll be looking at that. And Lester, who is our TA, is here to support with any technical issues and also to help us with anything in the chat. So Lester, just remind me if I'm missing anything, because I don't always look at the chat. Just tell me if there's anything in there, okay? All right, thumbs up from Lester. Janice, do you have a question? Sometimes boxes light up when somebody wants to say something. So that's why I was asking you, Janice. So just feel free to unmute yourself. My name is Deb Livingston. I'm your guide, and I'm here in Eastern Pennsylvania. And I love teaching for Get Set Up, and especially inviting you into my kitchen. So may you continue to join me for these classes where we can learn about recipes together. We do learn from each other. We do learn best on camera. I've already mentioned that. Feel free to request a recording of this class afterward by emailing help@getsetup.io. And that's a good one to request a recording of if you want a recording, because we probably won't be redoing this class. This is maybe a once and done thing, at least for a while. We'll see if Kathy wants to come back and if we want to do this later at a later date. We are live streaming this class, which is very nice. So hello to those of you who are out in live stream land. And I really want to encourage you to come and join us in a class by registering on our website. And that would be a terrific way to participate in the conversation. So join us. And I do want to say that the strawberry farmer where I got this we have no financial relationship with the strawberry farmer or any other company or website or anything else. No financial relationship, not paid to promote anything. So here's what I thought we would do today. Now this has altered just a little bit because we don't have Sandy couldn't make it today. And so I'm going to fill in a little bit there, but I would like to begin with, we'll be talking to Kathy. I just going to get a brief introduction from Kathy, and then we're going to walk through her strawberry buttermilk cake. So I have her recipe, and I'm just going to proceed through the recipe and ask her to chime in and give me any hints or tips along the way. Kathy, just join in wherever you feel like you want to and that you're comfortable, okay?
Yep.
And Sandy, well, we'll just move right through into her strawberry whipped sensation cake. And then I will show you the recipe for the kafluti. And then with any time that we have left, I would invite you to share your favorite strawberry recipes and any comments or conversation that we might have today about strawberry desserts. Okay, sound good?
Mhm.
Okay, so Kathy, let me just start with just a little bit of question here with you. Kathy, where do you live?
Live in Grove City, Ohio.
Okay, Grove City, Ohio. And
That's not far from Columbus.
okay, all right. Anybody live near Kathy? Anybody live near Columbus, Ohio? No? Okay. So Kathy, how many people are you cooking for in your household right now?
Just two.
I'm just doing a little informal survey, 2 of you. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been a member of Get Set Up? How long have you been taking classes?
Wow. Whenever they put it out there, they sent me an email last year sometime. It's been a while. I mean, I've taken so many classes and it's so much fun.
Yes, you have been I remember you from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So, wow, you're an old timer, Kathy.
All right, don't rub it in.
But we're only a year old, so that's okay. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the recipe that you're sharing with us. I already gave the name of it, but you can say that again and just tell us, if you don't mind, how did you come by the recipe and why did you decide to submit it today? Or for today?
Well, I was looking for a new recipe for a Norwex party I had at my house, and I always look on Pinterest because they have everything. And so I found this recipe and, it got rave reviews. I always look at the reviews because, if people say it doesn't do this or doesn't do that, or I added this or I added that, I always take that into consideration when I make it. And I picked this one because everybody said it was so delicious. So I thought, okay, I'll try it. But I didn't have a spring form pan. Actually, I have a spring form pan, but my daughter had it. And so I used a 9-inch square cake pan. And, you don't flip it out in that. In the spring form pan, you can just take the outside off and then you've got it, But I used it and cut it in the pan, but loved it. It was so good. And I had fresh strawberries also to add to it.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I had whipped cream. I might have had whipped cream, but I made it this just Monday because you asked me if I've ever frozen it. And I said no. So I put it in the freezer. And I just took it out this morning. My grandson is here. He wanted to know what the cake was for. And I said, you want to try it? So I got his approval. And I had some fresh, I have some cream in my refrigerator that I whipped up, homemade whipped cream. And I took it out and put it on the cake.
Oh,
and oh my God, it's really good.
Oh, okay. So freezing it, thumbs
Yes.
up. Okay,
Yes.
that's great to know. Really great to know. And the other thing that I think is really good to know is that, darn it, if we don't have a spring form pan, it doesn't mean we have to run out and buy one or that we can't make the cake. So, that's good. You just kept it in the pan and then you just sliced it up and used a
Yeah.
spatula to get it out and served it with a little bit of whipped cream and some extra strawberries.
And this time, when I made it Monday, I got my spring form pan for my daughter and made it in the spring And I like it better in the pan, in the round pan.
Did you? Why is that?
Yeah. Just because you can take it out and it looks pretty on a platter.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And so it looks pretty, and this is the cake that does not have a frosting on it, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's really going to be interesting. You say it looks pretty and it doesn't even have to have a frosting on it. So that's really good to know.
Well, they suggest that you put sugar on top of it before you bake it.
Mm-hmm. Did
But-
you do that?
But then it just wasn't on there because I didn't really put a whole lot. And then afterwards, when I took it out, I put some, what do you call, raw sugar? The
Yes.
crunchier, the bigger crystals,
Yeah.
and it's really good. It's
Okay.
really-
Okay. Well, then that's a great idea because I got some sugar out to put on top of this, but now that you say that, I just got the regular granulated, but this is the equivalent of a sugar in the raw. So we'll give that a try right from the get-go and
Okay.
see if that makes a difference. Okay.
Mhm.
And the other thing that I wanted to ask you was, so you said you got your springform pan back from your daughter, but you also mentioned in an email to me that you were going to thrift and look at the thrift store. Did you find, I guess you didn't find one.
I actually found exactly the same one that my daughter had, but I didn't want to pay $6 for it. So I just looked her up and I said, look, I need that pan. So I got it.
Okay, so what's your limit at the thrift store? $3?
Oh, it's for $3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's do the recipe and see, and then you can show, I'll put it in the oven, and then you can show us your finished product.
Okay.
So what you first have us do is preheat the oven to 350, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then spray, this is the springform pan. So lightly spray it. Now, what I did, since I was using butter for something, for this recipe, I had it in the wrap. I just took the wrap and swirled it around the pan to use up the butter that was sticking there. So I think that'll be enough. Do you? Think
Yeah.
that'll be good enough? All right. And it's a non-stick springform pan anyway. All right. So then what I did was whisk together the dry ingredients. So did you want to talk at all about that? What do
Well, not, the sugar gets put in with the butter, so that's a dry ingredient. So,
Right. So this is just the flour
right.
and the baking powder and a little bit of salt,
Mhm.
quarter teaspoon of salt. Okay, so I whisked that together. And then our next step was to cream the butter and the egg, or excuse me, the butter and the sugar. So that was 1/2 cup or 1 stick of butter. And that is at room temperature. So I actually got that out last night and put it on the counter. It's just so much easier to have it soft like that. And then a cup of granulated sugar, and then plus the extra for sprinkling. So we're going to try this. And now we have that. So I have that mixed. And does yours look like this when you're?
Yep.
Yeah. So it always says in the directions when you cream butter and sugar that it's going to get light and fluffy. That's
Yeah.
not my version. It never gets that way. So you could beat it a long time. It doesn't really get light and fluffy. Or has anybody had an experience where it's gotten lighter and fluffier than this in the first step? Sandra, were you shaking your head? Yes.
To get it, when it's getting light and fluffy, you're beating it at over 5 minutes. So
Oh,
you
wow.
gotta beat it at least 5 to 8 minutes to get that light and where the butter changes to almost a white color.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Because, in this recipe, it says 3 to 4 minutes until light and fluffy. So with more time, it would go longer. So that's a good thing to know. It takes that long, 5 to 8 minutes. All right. So we're at the stage now where we can add the next thing. And what is the next thing there, Kathy?
Probably eggs.
The eggs. Okay, so we're calling for 3 eggs in this case. And what we want to do with the eggs is crack them individually and add them. one at a time. So I have a bowl here. And I think I'm going to switch cameras so you can not necessarily see my face, but you can see my workspace. Okay. Of course, when you break eggs on camera, you get shell in there.
Of course.
And now but that's the way it is, right?
Well, I got it off camera, so too.
The good thing is those shells just seem to be made for getting the cracked shell seems made for getting the shell out of the egg white. It works beautiful. All right, so I'm going to beat this. Just add these one at a time. Sandra, with your culinary background now, should I have been beating those longer in between? Or do you think I've been doing things?
No, just until it's combined. You don't want to overbeat it.
Okay. Thank you. Garbage disposals, I love them.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's the egg. And so we're going to beat this in. And then the last thing we beat in before we start folding ingredients in is the vanilla extract. So we're going to add a teaspoon. Is that a teaspoon and a half of vanilla extract or a tablespoon? I think maybe, huh?
Teaspoon and a half.
Okay, so what I'm going to tell you is I see a little bit of a typo on the recipe that we typed up for you because Kathy submitted, I think you submitted a photo of this, so we retyped it. So I won't be able to get it fixed for today. So make sure when you print the recipe that you put in there a teaspoon and a half, okay? Teaspoon and a half of vanilla. Vanilla is one of those things that I err on the side of it's okay if it goes over the edge.
Me too.
I like
I do too.
it really went over the edge there, but good. Yeah, it's just a good flavor. It goes really well with strawberry. Or anything really. Okay. So that should be the end of the beaters. And now we're going to start folding some things in. So Kathy, if I read this correctly now, I'm supposed to be putting the dry ingredients in and alternating that with buttermilk, a mixture of buttermilk and yogurt. So this is a 1/4 cup of buttermilk and a 1/4 cup of yogurt. And I wanted to show you, we talked about this in a class the other day, but this is what I use because for a 1/4 cup of buttermilk, I did not want to buy a quart of buttermilk, which is often what's available. So this is a tablespoon per 1/4 cup or 4 tablespoons for a cup of buttermilk.
Mhm.
And thanks to Alberta, I know to put that in the refrigerator after I open it.
Now you can use sour cream in the place of that
Have you done that?
I actually made this one with sour cream.
Okay. And could you tell any kind of difference with it?
No, not really.
Okay. Yeah, I was reading the recipe. It says we used half sour cream and half buttermilk, but you can use all sour cream. You can use, let me see, I can't see all the recipe. You can use all buttermilk, half and half, full fat buttermilk, or full fat milk for this cake. I see
Yeah.
another little typo there, so.
It's a coffee cake, so you know,
Uh-huh.
it's heavier, you know,
Yum. I did see
and
where
very,
cake,
very moist.
this is a cake that goes really well as a breakfast or brunch cake, but also makes a nice dessert after dinner too. Can go anyway. All right. So you just folded this in. You did not blend it in. Is that right, Kathy?
I think I used my mixer.
Oh, did you? Okay, so it
I don't-
says,
Does it say fold it?
then add the flour to the mixing bowl, mix until combined, but don't overmix. So you're right, we could probably do that.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay, well, let me get my mixer, my beaters back out again. That makes it easier. And then
Yeah.
and then the strawberries though, you just fold those in, right?
Fold them in.
All right. Sometimes I read recipes too quickly. Does that ever happen? You read it too quickly and then you don't
Yeah,
do it quite the way it was intended, but you know, very, very rarely, usually works out. Except the other day when I put in baking powder for baking soda or vice versa. That didn't work out too well on those cupcakes I made,
oh,
but that's okay. All right, so just put a little of this in and be starting to intermix that. Oh, it really smells good. You have a stand mixer, Kathy?
I have both actually.
What do you use for this?
I used the stand this time.
Mhm. Anything else you want to tell us about this while I'm beating it? Did you serve other things with this at your Norwex party?
I think just the strawberries on the side and the whipped cream. I might have had some vegetables and dip. I don't know.
Did you sell a lot?
Oh yeah, I had a good party.
I had one too last year. I had a really good party as well.
They give
You like
you good.
Sorry. Say again, Kathy.
I said they give you good stuff when you're a hostess.
They
You
do.
get lots of free stuff.
Anybody else do a Norwex party or have Norwex products? Those are the products that have silver in them.
What product is that? Is that bakeware or?
No, it's household cleaning stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like microfiber towels and cloths and stuff like that. And then they have the cleaning products too, laundry detergent and bathroom cleaner and stuff like that. But it's good,
Yeah, I like it.
good stuff.
It's very expensive though. It's very expensive. That's why we have parties and that's why we save
Yep.
money on free pans at the thrift store, right?
Right.
We make our choices. All right, now I think we're done with the beaters this time. All right, so we have all that blended in. It's a really nice creamy batter. And now with what? We just pulled the strawberries in, Kathy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have your husband cut them up?
Yeah, well, you know what? He did. That's so funny that you're saying that. He didn't cut them, but he did haul them. I sliced them this morning.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he did. So this says folded the berries and turn it into the prepared pan. So that's what
Right.
I'm going to do. I know you probably, this is an easy cake to make, it seems. And you probably whip it together in half the time that I'm taking here to demonstrate it.
Yeah, because I'm not instructing anybody.
But it seems like something that would be, you know, it's nice to be able to do this in front of you all and just to be able to say how easy it is and how delicious it looks. Oh my gosh. So just to blend it in, it doesn't have to get all pink, right? You're just folding the berries in. You don't have to worry about getting it pink. Okay. So now I'm going to put it into the pan. Well, this is a little different, holding it out toward the camera. I didn't do too badly, but let me do this.
So when you cut your strawberries up,
Uh-huh.
you just cut them up by hand, or do you use your hand slicer?
Oh my goodness. No, I just do it by hand. So that's your little egg slicer kind of thing?
Yep.
Oh,
Strawberry, slice them it up. If they're soft, it goes really fast. But if they're hard, it's, you know, you want to use fresh berries anyway. So
yes.
I always pick the softest ones because they cut so easy with the egg cutter.
So when
Kathy, sorry,
no, go ahead.
do you ever use it for bananas too?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Oh.
do it when I make a banana pudding or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, that's great ideas. So when you do the strawberries, do you put more than one on at a
something new.
time?
No. Nope, they won't fit on there.
Okay. All right. Now I'm putting, so the last thing I put on here then is a sprinkle of this sugar. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. And then how long do we bake this for?
Mine was done in 40 minutes. It says
Okay.
40 to 45, but I always go for the lesser because, you know, you can always check it. And it
And
looked
how
pretty
can-
brown. It looked pretty brown.
And-
I'll take it out now.
And did you go with the toothpick in the center to check for doneness?
Actually, I didn't because it looked like it was done. You know, I touched the top of it and it was pretty, you know, it wasn't moving or anything.
Okay. So it's one of those that's pretty easy to tell if it's finished or not. So
Yeah.
voila, that looks great.
Yeah.
And in the oven it's going. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for that. So that, Alexa, could you set the timer for 40 minutes?
Yep.
Alexa, set the timer for 40 minutes. I think she was wondering when I said, could you? Because I think I made her think about that. Well, I guess I could. Maybe she thought I was giving her a choice.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. So what questions do you have for Kathy? Anything about this cake you want to know more about?
Can you use frozen strawberries if you let them thaw out and then kind of drain them a little bit?
Yeah, I would definitely drain them because they're awful wet when they're frozen. I would go for them. I mean, also you could probably use raspberries. Raspberries are kind of tender though. Blueberries would work really good. You could put
That's a
some
good
lemon,
idea.
lemon in the mix or in the batter. That would be good. So here's the finished product.
Oh,
We've already tried it.
oh, that looks delicious.
And it's got 2 cups of, that's what I put in, 2 cups.
Oh, yeah,
Is that what you got? I mean, 16 ounces is 2 cups, so I just put 2 cups in.
2 cups of,
So-
okay, so what happened there was you froze up for a moment. So what, you put 2
Oh.
cups of strawberries in, is that what you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
it said 14 ounces, but by the time I got 14 ounces and threw it in the 2 cup measuring cup, it was 2 cups. So I thought, well, I'll just do 2 cups because
Okay, so
I put
that's
it on my measuring, on my weight scale.
that's a really good point and something we should put in this recipe,
It's
that it just can be for 2 cups.
yeah.
Okay,
So like I said, probably blueberries would be an excellent thing, or you could mix berries, you know.
yes, just like the kafluti. I thought the same thing with that recipe, that would be good with other kinds of fruits as well. I would imagine if you drained it, you could probably use peaches. I wonder if you could make that into a peach cake.
Oh, yes.
So this is
Oh,
a
yeah.
cake recipe that you can just keep trying throughout the summer season as you have different fruits come available. Nice ideas, good thoughts.
Mhm.
And then what we can top with is homemade whipped cream
Mhm.
or whipped cream in the can,
Fresh berries.
fresh berries. Lovely. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take half of this to my friend's house for dinner tonight. And that will be just enough for, well, maybe not even half, but for 4 of us. And then I'll have the rest. And I think what I'll do, Kathy, what do you think about it? Seems a little long for it to last freshly until Sunday, but if I refrigerate it, or should I freeze it? I'm thinking about
Days.
freezing it.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah,
I think if you refrigerate it, it'd be okay, as long as it's covered
as long as it's covered. Yeah.
good. It doesn't refrigerator. I mean, I just suggest if you're not going to eat any more of it, just put it in the freezer.
Yeah, that's what, till Sunday. I'm going to bring it out
Yeah.
and have it for Father's Day, but
I
have
just
two people-
actually put it in a plastic Ziploc bag. That's all I did. Put it in
Okay,
the freezer. Put it in the freezer.
okay, good idea. Thank you. All
Mhm.
right, so let's look. All right, we have enough time here to do the second recipe, and this is the whipped sensation. So let me get up there and take a look at it. And this doesn't take too long, but we start with a loaf pan, and the loaf pan is 9 by 5. Now, I'm hoping I didn't measure, so I'm hoping it could end up being a little bit big, but we'll see. A little bit small, a little bit too much for the pan. So what we have are 4 cups of strawberries divided. Now, here's what I learned. So remember I told you that I am going to serve this on Sunday, so I'm making it ahead. So when I read this recipe, I was just looking at my total number of strawberries. And so 2 cups of those strawberries are going to be used on this after you turn it out and you frost it with some Cool Whip. And you're going to garnish it with the fresh berries. Well, I don't want those today. I'm going to get those on Saturday so that they're really fresh for Sunday. So if you just have to watch how long you're going to be able to keep your berries. We know they don't keep very long. So the ones I bought at the stand yesterday, as a matter of fact, were already a little too far. They're really going today, so they needed to be used. So we line this with foil because we're going to be able to turn it out more easily, and you have to make sure the foil goes over the edges of the pan. And then the next step here is to mash. I'm going to change my camera here again. So we're to mash the 2 cups of strawberries, the other 2 cups of strawberries in a bowl. Now I'm going to transfer these. I didn't know about mashing them by hand. I tried half-heartedly to do that, and then I put them in my little mini food processor, and this looks like a mash to me. And now I'm going to put it into my large bowl. You know what? Give me just a second. I think I'm going to wash this bowl out over here so you can actually see. And I don't have a lot of large glass bowls. I'm standing on a kitchen rug that I just bought recently. Has anyone ever purchased a Ruggable? It's a new kind of rug. And this one looks like a worn Oriental. It's very pretty, and you'd have to look closely at it to know. And it is really thin, very, very thin. But then it comes with a padding, and you can get like an extra padding. And it's so much better on my legs, and it's beautiful, and I can roll up the rug and wash it. So just in case that's ever of interest, I was thinking about how nice it felt on my legs right now. All right, just a little filler while I wash the bowl. So here we are with our bowl. We're going to put the strawberries in here, and then we're going to add a can of condensed milk. And that's the kind that's sweetened, okay? Sweetened condensed milk. You've all probably used this. Very thick. So it needs a little help getting everything out. And after the sweetened condensed milk, we're going to add the juice of, well, it's a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And as I say, I always miss one thing that I don't get out of the refrigerator. Wow, that was pretty good. Got it right on the dot. So 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and then 2 cups of this whipped topping. So the Cool Whip. And then we're going to keep the rest of the Cool Whip for later to icing the cake. So this again is a frozen cake, and you need to freeze it. So it has to freeze at least, I'm gonna mix this together a little bit. It has to freeze for at least 6 hours. So if you're going to make this, certainly, it's good to make it in the morning at the very least if you're doing something in the evening. So now it's gotten this psychedelic pink there. You'll not be able to see that thing. Okay, so 2 cups. This I think might be a craft recipe. Or I don't know what company makes Cool Whip anymore. It's starting to, everybody buys everybody. I can't keep track. So after I'm finished with this, I'm going to pour it into this pan. After I just mix it in. Looks like I have to mix this pretty well. Makes it light and fluffy. It looks really good. Pretty. Okay. Bring it a little closer to me. So I'm sorry Sandy didn't come today to see her dessert being made, but it looks like a great pick. My gosh, this couldn't get any easier. So it's one of those desserts that if you just, boy, you need something fast, as long as you have time to freeze it, doesn't take any time in the morning. And you know what? I'm glad that you were talking about using other fruits because I'm wondering if this would be the same thing. You could really do the same with peaches or what else? We talked about blueberries. Wonder what other.
I bet raspberries would be good because, you know, you mash them, so they're going to be, they won't fall apart or anything.
They're already, yeah, they're already going to be apart. Okay, so that's about how full the pan is. And now the last thing that we're going to do is add some crumbs. And these crumbs are this is 8 Oreo cookies that I ground up in my food processor. It's amazing how the icing just blends in there then. And then I added a tablespoon of melted butter in there. And I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top of our dessert so that when this comes out at the end, it's going to be, of course, the cookie side down on the plate. Wow, that was just enough. So 8 Oreos, or you could use, you know, what I really wanted to use was the Newman O's because I think they might be a little better, but for you, but I couldn't find any in the grocery store I was in. So there you go. Very nice. And what I'm going to do now is just freeze it until it's firm. And then I would invert this onto a serving plate and then remove, just peel the foil off of it and then spread the rest of the Cool Whip on there and arrange strawberries to make it look pretty like we have on the, like we had on that cover picture. So I think I'll put a little bit of wrap on this then, plastic wrap before I put it in the freezer. So that's that.
How long you have to freeze it?
6 hours. 6 hours or until it's firm. So I would give it a good 6. You know, if I was making it for the evening, I'd probably be up at, you know, putting it in the freezer by 8 or something, just because I don't trust the time on some recipes. But yeah, 6 hours at least. All right. So let's talk about that Kafluti recipe if we have a moment. We have just a minute to talk about that. I'm going to go back to my shared screen here. And I'm going to okay, so you should see 2 screens now. You should see my slides, and then these are the recipes over here. This is exactly what you're going to get. And we are still new at getting these together into recipe format. So bear with us if there's some typos. We're still working on that. And so there are 3 here. So the strawberry whipped sensation is first. And here's the mixed berry cafluti. And you know what? I was just thinking, how does this compare to the one that we just made? Because there are some similarities. So can everybody see that decently? Can you see it pretty well? So you're going to grease a baking dish, a 2-quart baking dish. So whatever that is, a shallow 2-quart baking dish. Sprinkle a little sugar in the dish and coat the bottom and up the sides. And then you arrange the berries that you picked. So here we're using blackberries and raspberries. But again, as we were saying, this looks like something we could add any kind of berry to. And I wonder whether we could just make this a strawberry dessert, which is why I kept it included. And so you put the berries there on the bottom, and then you blend the mixture of milk and eggs and sugar and vanilla. And here we're using all-purpose flour, only a 1/2 cup, and a 1/4 cup of almond flour, some lemon zest and some salt. Blend it for a minute and skim off the foam that comes up, and then pour that over the berries and sprinkle it with the remainder of the 3 tablespoons of sugar. This sounds absolutely easy and delicious also, doesn't it? Very easy to do, and this bakes for 50 to 55 minutes. And it looks like it doesn't have, what's our sugar content? 1/2 cup of sugar plus 3 tablespoons. And just a 1/2 cup of flour. So, you know, the carbs aren't really super high here. And it's 3 large eggs. It's got some similarities, Kathy, to your cake, some similarities, but they are still very different. And all 3 very good desserts. So, Kathy, thanks for submitting your recipe, and then extra thanks for coming and talking us through it, being here to tell us your experience, and especially to show us what the outcome looks like. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it looks delicious. I can't wait
You're
to
welcome.
try it. Can't wait to try it. Anybody want to share any final thoughts or questions before we wrap up? Which one of these do you think you might try?
I think I'm gonna try Kathy's.
Yeah.
That sounds good, yeah.
Oh, I like Kathy's best too. I think I'll try that one.
Yeah. Oh,
Tell them how good the cake was.
It was good.
It
was
was
it
good.
good? Was it delicious? Did you have lots of whipped cream on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
He said
everything
it added extra flavor.
Ah,
extra flavor for sure. Well, thanks for being our taster. We appreciate that. That was great. Wonderful. All these ladies want to make it now. Okay. So any other thoughts? Any other recipes that you would like to do this with? Because if you have a recipe you really enjoy, this is the kind of class that we can share it in. And I'd love to have you come on and do as much or as little of it as you want, but we can feature your recipe. So go ahead and send me an email if you have something. And I'd also be interested to know what you're interested in the way of trying other cuisines. What are your favorites? I will tell you that what I've got in the pipeline are some Spanish dishes, some Italian dishes. I'm in conversation with a cookbook author from Italy. So that's probably going to come up in August. And we just, we have those sorts of things that we will be offering. And I just like to know what your interests are. How about a session on this? So let me know. And well, I had something else here I was going to share with you. I don't know what happened. I thought I updated. So my next class, we have a class on favorite fudge desserts, favorite fudge recipes at 3:00. And Alberta and Judith Willis are going to be talking about their fudge recipes. And Marge Drager from Get Set Up is also coming, and she'll share that. And another thing that I wanted to mention to you about Marge is that she is hosting lunches with Marge every day. So I'll put that link in the email that I send you along with the recipe, and you might just want to drop in and have lunch with Marge one of these days. So send you that email, send me your feedback, schedule a class. Yes. Oh, Linda.
Excuse me, we just made a trip yesterday to a local organic blueberry farm. So in the Houston area, blueberries are coming in, and I now have a nice big bag of blueberries. So if anybody has a recipe for something tasty to do with blueberries, that would be helpful, because
Okay.
I was kind of running out of ideas.
Okay, that's a great idea. Blueberries it is. We'll do that with some. Maybe we'll do a favorite. Does anybody here have a favorite blueberry recipe?
You can use that cake I just made.
Yeah.
Put the blueberries in it instead.
And the kafluti. You could do that with any of that probably.
Mhm.
And the one thing that's nice about blueberries is that they freeze so well, and then they thaw and they don't go to water. They stay intact. So if you find that you have so many of them that you're afraid you're not going to get them all used before they go bad, pop them in the freezer, and they are wonderful in smoothies, as you probably know. And a blueberry crumble. What else do you make? What do you make with blueberries?
Well, I put some in my yogurt yesterday, and I had seen them in smoothies. But yes, I was thinking of, since they're, it seems like strawberries seem to go a little bit farther. So if I put them in like the frozen dessert that ended up with like 4 cups of blueberries, it seemed like you'd be awfully blue or awfully purple by the time you finished with that. So the crumble, would you put another fruit in the crumble, or just put the whole bottom layer, like the apple crumble recipe that my daughter-in-law gave me? You fill it up with apples. Would you put some other fruit like apples or something else, and then put the blueberries in too, so it didn't get too heavy?
I think I probably would mix it with either apples or maybe peaches. But that's a good thing, and we'll do something on blueberries. I love that idea.
Thank you.
Maybe I think I'll look to see something, and tells me I might have seen a chilled blueberry soup. So I'll look that up too. So you never know. All right. Well, don't forget to invite your friends to classes. And I hope to see you at the Fudge class or one of my next classes. Don't forget that Make Ahead Meals, Leslie, who did the Easy Meals for 1 or 2, is coming back to do a round 2 on her Make Ahead mixes. And that will be tomorrow. And I'm also doing something on meal planning tomorrow. So if you get a chance, pop in. Thank you for coming, and have a wonderful day. See you next time in my kitchen.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye-bye, Janice. Kathy, thank you so much. Are you still there, Kathy?